My friend and I arrived at Hope, BC on Friday afternoon after buying 3 new outside steel plated doors for 323 Allison Avenue. As you know, City Hall in Hope were having fun at my expense and making me sleep in the truck for no reason whatsoever, till they said I need all the windows to be replaced, new exit doors, and the sun deck done, and the gyprock insulated 4 feet high in the basement. They agreed to allow me to board the windows. As I said, fixing the windows would allow anyone to break in as usual and destroy what was built inside and outside. As a matter of fact, someone did enter the premises and steal my weightlifting set of about 60 pounds and some small ornament on the fireplace. So when the doors would be fixed up completely today, inspection by City Hall would be done on Tuesday, and then we would be allowed to sleep in the house. So this did not go right with the one native Indian son of Kathy Henry and the neighbor's boyfriend. We did not know it was the boyfriend, as we always talked like he owned the house or rented it. Now here's a little about this Caucasian male bastard. About 3 months ago, when the rest of them moved to 323 Allison Avenue, house next door, he came up to me and said, "Morris, we are pleased with the way you are cleaning up the place and would like you to sell the house immediately and go to the States. They want you there." He would repeat this when I was washing in freezing cold water. We don't have heat, as we have had to remove the gas meter because the mad tenants last year were dragging the natural gas into the house. You have no idea how these outrageous Caucasians are. I never took notice of this till this afternoon, as how depraved he is, and was and am surprised that the cops see him as normal. He is so schizophrenic that I would put him away for life. Anyway, we are dealing with whites in charge, and by golly, they are hurting us with their stupidity. This is what he did. At 12:20 p.m., John Howard and I were sitting in the truck, deciding what to do after we put 3 new doors and frames in, when he came over, listened to the stupidity, and said to John, "Both of you are keeping my dogs awake all night and making them bark." This fellow is a coward, and retreating said, "But we sleep in the truck because they do not allow us to sleep in the house." I told him straight off it was his dogs that were barking all night and we could not sleep. This common sense approach to the whole thing really made him mad. You see, Caucasians, especially in British Columbia, have been taught to be rude and lose their temper in an effort to sidetrack the issue when they are wrong. He said, "I'll bring my steroid friend and kill both of you." I was told about 4 weeks ago by Constable Hodgson of the RCMP in Hope, BC, that we cannot protect your property against the neighbor's threats. But if they threaten you, call 911. The police told me to wait at the residence for them. I did, and he heard it, saying, "Oh, he's calling the cops." I never expected him to do that. Then a few minutes later, he called his girlfriend in. She was sitting in the car on his front lot, and came out with a very large pipe wrench about 18 inches long. He never said anything, just smashed the front windshield with tremendous force. The passenger window completely smashed, and the small window also was completely taken out. In our hurry to get out, we had to drive forward and back out because of the trees close by. And he took another wallop to the rear of the tailgate, making a good indentation on it. Fortunately, it could have been worse, except for the fact that I had advertising rental for sale poster right there. He repeated, "Don't come back on your own property again, because I will kill you." We just bolted there in fright because we had nothing to defend ourselves with, and he was in such fury that he would have killed us if we had stepped out of the pickup truck. Here's the summary of the damages. Front windshield, a complete write-off. Passenger window, gone. Side small window smashed right off. Rear side tailgate has a mark of a super big pipe wrench, and now this is affecting the rear tail light too. It has you can see that there's a line there. There is a mark there showing that the pipe wrench has hit it. Since he smashed the truck, we drove off, and I called the cops to tell them we were headed to their parking lot. Half an hour later, we met up with Constable M.D. Griffiths, telephone 869-7755, area code 604, file number 2006-38802. And she tape recorded me and my friend John separately. She wanted us to meet her in half an hour. An hour later, we drove to the same courtyard and met her with Constable Mulrooney, who said they were going there to arrest him and we should follow. We did, and then they said he was not there, was not even a tenant, rather than being the owner, and was just the girl's boyfriend. So I said with a shrug, "What happened?" And the constable was unable to respond. Then they waited for about 10 minutes while we got out the two brand new doors and our stuff and left for Surrey. Before we did, I asked for a copy of the tape-recorded conversation for our records. Said that she could not give us one for some reason or other. I then asked what guarantee that I would have to come back and work there without being intimidated or killed by this white idiot, for we never had a chance to talk to him. They said they would arrest him, which later someone phoned to say they did, with the restrictions of not going on my property and not talking to me. I asked what if he came at us with a weapon, and they said they had nothing constructive to say. I was wondering whether I was entitled to receive a copy of this restrictions, within quotations, for my own protection. Knowing that they were all white and have to protect their own, they were life to me. I would like the government of BC to send a copy of this to the Police Commission and to the Solicitor General to know that white mind control hatred over me is like a guillotine over my head. And I need all this stopped and financial compensation immediately. I would like freedom fighters to come with me to Hope to settle this thing. As he said, another thing which disturbs me. We are all for her, and that is why this happened. I don't have a chance of being alive in a situation after this, anywhere, for anyone can hurt me through mind control or just hatred. I am therefore demanding that all be removed from my head. Stop waking me up so many times per night so that I cannot function as a whirlwind investor just because you want me to serve your Senate for free. That's not my style, and if all Caucasians keep on saying that they will ruin me financially if I don't serve them, then I must look to freedom fighters to take them right out. Please help. I don't want to live like a rat, afraid of the big bad wolf, who really belongs to the dirtiest race in the whole world, even licking genitals during sex with anyone and anybody. This applies to those who do. And they have orgies with their own and farm animals and reptiles. Yet, they defame me continuously, and this is spread all over the world. I know that people in power in Ottawa are just a sham. I am hoping better from the Premier of BC. After 37 years, I don't want to be living in fear of my life just because the whites are the dirtiest people in the world. Please help. I want my money now and to stop saving everyone who actually are the ones that are ruining me. Thanks, Morris. Part 2. I left out the most important fact from my story just sent to you about smashing up of my pickup, etc. All done to stop me from working on my house, smashed by the whites, so that I would be able to work from my earnings and fight for all the monies robbed by them and for the loss of my family, etc. It was the behavior of the RCMP at Hope. I will take you to the time they responded to 323 Allison to arrest the fellow next door, who proved to be not even the owner or the tenant, just a visiting boyfriend of the girl living there. John and I told them that we would get our personal effects and the two new doors and frames and head to Surrey to recover from this white hate crime. I told you about someone stealing my weights. I had a new pair of dumbbells which I took to the truck immediately, and one female officer told the rest of them, another female and Constable Mulroney, that as a rapist I was onto them and had to leave for the States to serve them there. I did not hear their response. Then, and here is how low the RCMP forces have become. She said, "Oh, he will be having sex with his dog next." This hurts, but I am able not to show it, and whenever I recall the low bestiality of the whites, I remember with disgust. Can you imagine how low they have become? I guess the real fact of the matter is they cannot get good, decent whites anymore, and to make up the majority of whites, take even gutter people just as long as they can speak English. I am utterly disgusted, and I hope the Premier Campbell and the Prime Minister of Canada do recognize that I am a victim of white mind-controlled hatred, and it is the whites who are orgy-inclined, lick the genitals of their sex partners and fornicate with farm animals and reptiles and rape others, not me. And this applies to those who do only, or only do. I am the innocent person in this great white conspiracy to ruin me and commit any crimes they can and get away with it because the police are white and naturally on their side even when they are wrong. Talking about crimes, this fellow said twice he would kill us, then came up with a giant pipe wrench to prove it, and also repeated it twice that if we came back on our own property, he would kill us. And all he got was being arrested and immediately released based on certain restrictions. To an animal such as he is, I doubt it would make any difference. Also, since the RCMP have been trying to entrap me in Hope from 1991 to make me lose my real estate there, and have come up with stories to keep me from prosecuting, it is a mere tap on the wrist for this white idiot. I have had such trouble with white tenants waking me up till I was almost a vegetable, and when I said I would kill the tenants if they did not stop this, and the nightmares broadcast from the radios and televisions, I was immediately arrested and made a criminal. Even when they knew that this was true, they never even investigated it. How is that for white prosecution and criminal behavior? And because they all wanted me scared in Hope, BC, so that I would have to leave my houses and go to the States, I have more personal fear for my safety, and all this is caused through mind-controlled white hatred. I would like the Solicitor General to get involved in this and have the media present so that I am not trashed by the whites in both countries as usual. If you want to get an immediate report of my recorded conversation on the report with Miss Griffiths, and spoke to Constable Mulroney about it. He said that it would take more than a week. This sounds rather ridiculous because I need it now to make the charges against him, no matter how sorry he appears to be. He would have killed us both without reason. I cannot accept that he is quiet now and sane. I think he must be charged and put in a psychiatric ward immediately, as he is definitely a killer. I am writing to you because you know me and I have been fair. Morris, that's it. A letter written to Constable Bosnell of the RCMP police force in Hope, BC. He is one of the constables I have faith in, so I'll read it to you. Dear Constable Bosnell, this email is being sent to you from Morrissey Fernandez, owner of the above house at 323 Allison Avenue, that is causing such a lot of controversy that I think I should explain a few things to you about this, in the hope you will pass a copy on to Constable Mulroney, M. Griffiths, etc. When I bought it in 1991, among other properties, all the people of Hope, BC said, "We will not rent from you unless you suck us." So I had no choice but to rent to people willing to rent. This, however, turned out to be 100% welfare recipients who were on drugs, liquor, and other ailments, thanks to the free time given to them by the Social Service Department of the federal government. They would break some part of the home in installments over a period of a week, just to make me lose a lot of money fixing it. Then, to make it worse, Hope City Hall decided to repair their water mains in front of the house 3 times. And each time 4 inches of water rushed into the house basement, destroying beds, clothes, shoes, etc., etc. And these tenants went to City Hall for reimbursement. They refused, so they took it out on me by wrecking the house, smashing doors and windows, and refusing to pay the rent, while using Kathy Henry as their go-between to say that they would resort to violence if I insisted on collecting the rents. They were 3.5 months due in the rent before I got them out, as I had other problems in Surrey and could not be present in Hope at the same time. Then one fellow named Ed Sumner told John Howard that he was going to do things that would intimidate me, and because I was not leaving Hope for the US, and because I was not on the same level, thinking level as him, and because I was talking to City Hall on the same level, it was against his ways, furnace, disabling it. I got it fixed and got them all out again. Then they would come back, put on all the lights in the house in the night, use the stove to cook, and he was interfering with the gas meter, bringing the gas inside the house. They are lucky, as they were smoking cigarettes in the house. I saw this and immediately got Terrason to remove the gas meter and hydro the electric meter. They would still come in and use the facilities to sleep, etc., and continue with the breaking of window panes, appliances, etc. From this report you will see that because the Caucasians refused to rent from me, I had no other choice but to rent to anyone, because I had already bought 5 homes with nobody renting any of them. I had to sell off one home at 527 4th Street, just 2 years old, to pay off $20,000 in back taxes, or lose it. Then City Hall refused to give me a permit when I remodeled one side of 541 Wallace Avenue, because Mr. Orrit, the then building inspector, said I needed another parking space at the back. However, when Cameron Toll repurchased it, there was no stipulation of parking. I double-checked this with him. Also, this, said Mr. Orrit, Also, they said Mr. Orrit did visit Rona Ravi in 1996 with me at his back. And this fellow told the employees that he should not be able to do business in Hope, BC and should move to the States. I was very shocked. I'm telling you this because I have heard one of the constables say, "Oh, this trouble is happening to you because it was a flop house." Far from it. Nobody would rent me, and this is against my constitutional rights. Also, when fixing it up, it has nothing to do about the house, and this woman could not say why this fellow wanted to kill us yesterday. These are death threats, and this man must be charged and locked up in a forensic psychiatric institute for at least 30 days observation, and then only released with medication to calm him down, as he was a raging lunatic. And all the methods of showing he is sorry won't cut it, because in addition he has made me come to Surrey for refuge, as he said he would kill us on our own property twice. And I've lost 2 days' work already, and to trump this, inspection of the new doors was to be done on Tuesday by City Hall, and this has to be cancelled. ICBC can only be seen on Thursday afternoon, and then the vehicle goes for a rental. All this is costing me a lot of money, especially when the weather might change at any time. I do want to get an immediate report of my recorded conversation on the report with Miss Griffiths, and spoke to Constable Mulroney about it. He said it would take more than a week. This sounds rather ridiculous because I need it now to make the charges against him, no matter how sorry he appears to be. He would have killed us both without reason. I cannot accept that he is quiet now and sane. I think he must be charged and put into the psychiatric ward immediately, as he is definitely a killer. I am writing to you because you know me and have been fair. Morris.
My name is John Harwood. I work for Morris in Hope.